If you're running your layout on DC and you would like to go to DCC, you're going to want to see this video here. I'm going to show you how you can do it for probably under 50 bucks, maybe even cheaper than that if you get everything generic. So let's get going right now. I'm Tom Kovichak, and this is Tom's Trains and Things. This channel was created to help other modelers who are in need of guidance in pursuing their dream of building a model railroad. In that model railroad, if you would like to run DCC, but you were always afraid because of the technology or the price of it, there is a simple solution where you can run your layout from this right here. All it is an Arduino Uno. You could even use a Mega if you want, and a motor shield. I have an Arduino motor shield here. I have a generic Uno revision 3 here. And all you need is a computer and JMRI. I showed you in a couple of other videos how to use your cell phone as a wireless throttle. Now you could do that with JMRI. Now there's some technology now that you could do it without JMRI, but JMRI is a wonderful piece of software that you could use to program your locomotives and even run your layout. If you don't have a computer that you could put in your train room, you could do it with a Raspberry Pi. I picked up this Raspberry Pi B Plus for under $30. It has Wi-Fi, it has 4 USB ports, it has HDMI, and it also has a mini SD card. And that's all you need to load JMRI on the SD card and put it in here, and you could hook up a monitor to this. You could hook up your keyboard and mouse to this and do everything you can on a computer on this right here, the Raspberry Pi. And it doesn't have to be the B Plus, but the B Plus, the chip on the B Plus doesn't get as hot as the older ones. YouTube model builders did 2 videos not too long ago. Chris Rude did an explanation of how to hook up the Uno with the motor shield to get you going in DCC++. Now DCC++ has been around for a while, maybe 5 or 6 years. Gregg Berman developed it for his own use on his N-scale layout. Now he made the base station, which I'm going to tell you about right here, and he has the control module, which is a graphical user interface where he controls his entire layout from that display through this right here and JMRI. You don't have to use JMRI. You could also use CMRI. Now that is Chubb Model Railroad Interface. Now that was developed a long time ago by Bruce Chubb. You could also put that on here and run your model railroad from that. In one of my earlier videos, I talked about this Seed Studio motor shield and was going to use it for the DCC++ project. The only problem I had with it, as you can see where I have this jumper wire here, that's pin 10. And on the Arduino motor shield, they use pin 12 and 13 to drive these outputs on here. But on this motor shield, they use pins 10 and 11. And also on the Sketch, pin 10 is used as an analog to jumper from pin 10 to 12, one of the outputs. So that makes this motor shield unusable unless I could find where in the code where he uses pin 10, maybe I could change it to a different pin. I decided not to go that route. Also, I talked about the V in. Now this one has a jumper over here at the V in. It closes off this pin right here, which is the V in pin. So there's no connection from this board going down to the Uno. Now I know there was a few people that had the Robodyne motor shield. If you have that one or any other generic motor shield, go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know how that worked out. If it worked, if you got it to work, or if you didn't get it to work. And if you did get it to work, what you found out about it. Now, the only problem with this is I have an existing model railroad and I have Digitrax on here. I have some DS64s on here. I have a PM42. Just with the initial test from this, I was not able to find a way to communicate with the DS64 and the PM42. Now, if there is a way, that would be wonderful. But if there isn't, that's no loss, because you can still do a lot of things. I mean, if you're starting out in it and you don't have anything on your model railroad yet as far as automation, you could use servos to automate your turnouts. So this is what's so great about it, is just this technology right here, and it's very inexpensive. You could get a cheap Uno board for under $10. I'm going to go on the computer and show you how this thing really works. I was amazed at the first time that I hooked this thing up and how fast it programs a locomotive. When I was using my Digitrax on there through the PR3 and JMRI, it was real sluggish, and sometimes it didn't catch the program, and sometimes you just had to wait for it to go choom, choom, choom through the things. If you write your page to the locomotive, it goes all the way down the list and it's done. This thing is super fast the way it does it. And not like the way you do it with your throttle, programming with your throttle, or programming with JMR through a PR3 that I have sitting over here. Now I have all that disconnected right now. I'm going to hook this up to a section of my layout that's right next to my computer so I could show you how this thing works and how easy it is. I got the JMRI throttle up here. I selected the locomotive. I have everything hooked up. I got my power supply right here set at 16 volts. And here is the Uno with the motor shield on top of it. Test track and main track over there. So we'll turn this thing on. And I could hear the fan on the power supply starting. And there we go. Should have put the bridge up. Okay, there we go. I got my sounds turned down on here so it's not too loud. But anyway, you see that you could use this to operate your locomotive. I'm going to undo this so I could put the bridge up, and at least we'll be able to go to the end of the bridge and I won't have to hold on to it. All right, so forward. There we go. Now we'll be able to watch it come over this way. And I'll use this camera right over here on the bridge. Can't do this with my left hand. Now that is the main track. Now let me put it on the programming track. We'll go back over to the speed table, constant ratio curve. We'll use this one here, and we'll show you rate changes on sheet and show you how fast this thing goes. Now when I was doing this with the PR3 and Digitrax, it would take forever. And that's it right there. Now let's go over to the CVs, and you can see right over here where the speed table information is stored. That's the ones that were changed. Motor acceleration rate will change just to 25. And rate changes on sheet. And there it did it. Basic, that's that. Roster entry. Sound levels. We'll keep the bell volume. Okay. Rate changes on sheet. Boom. Done. So we'll go over here, CVs. And you can see which one CVs are stored. It works excellent. And you don't have to pay an arm and a leg to get yourself started in DCC. Don't forget to check out all the videos that are available. You got 2 videos on YouTube Model Builders. You got Gregg Berman's videos. He starts from the very beginning, gives you a demonstration of his layout, how it automatically runs his locomotives. He doesn't have to touch it at all. And then he goes step by step through explaining DCC and what he did with it, and then the hardware hookup on it. And that's where he left off with that. But you could find the code. I'll have the links for everything in the description. So if you're thinking about it, go this way. Go this way right here. And if you don't have a computer to put on your train layout, Raspberry Pi, the latest model is the B+, $29.95 at Adafruit. Power off, close the program. And that's all there is to it. Piece of cake. So if you want to use it, go ahead and watch all those videos like I told you before. And everything will be in the description below, and we'll see you.